Hello.
Hi Shirley, good evening. One moment please, I'm going live on YouTube.
Okay. The link you sent for the week's calls, when I get in, they ask me for permission.
Oh no, let me check.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what happened, but let me check please. Let's see. I think you're right. All right, now you should be able to write your name down. Shirley, if you could check one more time, please.
No, I can.
All right. Hello, guys. Hi, Cecilia. I'll share the link through the chat, all right? Just in case. Well, it's obviously it's easier and faster, right? Okay, guys, I'm sharing the link so you can. Oh my god, sorry. I was about to share something else. All right. Okay, so you can schedule this week's personal calls. And today we're going to practice task number 2. All right, and obviously we already practiced that with both of you guys. So let me quickly review this task. But you're already familiarized with it, so it will be all right. Okay, guys. Let me share it. Okay. So task number 2. All right. Okay, guys. So task number 2, it's always going to talk about this pretending change that is going to happen in the campus. All right. So that's what you have to remember when you get it. It's obviously going to say task number 2. So hello. I think your name is not accurate. It says Juan Encinas. If you could change your name, please. All right. So basically here, guys, it's very easy. No. The only thing that we have to try to understand is that in the passage we have to find this change. All right. It could be anything. It could be anything from new type of food, or it could be something related with the buses, or maybe a new presentation, even our scholarships. But always it's going to be, the change is always going to be related to the campus, right? And basically here you're going to get this task, which I'm going to read it right now. You will get this one. Always, no? You will now read a short passage and then listen to conversation on the same topic. Then you will then be asked a question about them. And after you read the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak. All right, so you're always going to get first the passage, which is usually around 100 words long. It's not that long, so 45 seconds is enough time to read it. Hello, guys. Good evening. Please, everyone, turn their cameras on. Go on YouTube. Okay, so basically in task number 2, guys, you're going to get a passage, right? In the passage, we're going to read an introductory information about this change. And obviously the context is always going to be the same. They're going to present this situation in the campus, and they're going to introduce the change. So basically in the passage, we have to find out that, no, we have to find this pretending change that is happening in the campus. Therefore, we have to take some notes and write it down. Always remember that we should write just a little bit of the information. Do not write too much because obviously at the end you are not going to have too much time to talk, right? So in these 45 seconds, it's important that first we find the change. Now we understand obviously the context. Then we find the change, and then we have to find also two details related to this change. All right, that's important because we need that to the first part of the response. Then you're going to listen to this audio or conversation, which is always going to be between two students, a male and a female. And in this conversation, one of the students is going to take a position related to this change. They're going to have a strong response to this change that in a 20% of times is going to be positive. And in that case, the male or the female student is going to agree with this change. And the rest of the time, the 80% of the times, is going to disagree with this change. And basically here in the audio, we have to find these two reasons. They're always going to explain two reasons why they agree or they disagree with this change. And we have to write that information down. All right. Then basically after you read the passage and then you listen the conversation, then you're going to have 30 seconds time, preparation time, 30 seconds. And after that, you're going to have 60 seconds to respond. All right. So, hi Raul, welcome. Please turn your camera on. All right. Ara, please could you put your camera a little bit lower? Thank you very much. Okay, so basically here, the task number 2, it's what's the word? Sorry guys, I'm going to show you. I apologize. Where is it? One second, please. It's integrated. All right, so the first question that we saw last week, we were practicing the whole week, is independent because they basically ask us about our opinion. However, the next tasks are integrated. They're called integrated because we are going to have in task number 2 and 3, for instance, we're going to get a passage and an audio or conversation, right? Or a lecture maybe. In task number 2, we get an audio, which we already practiced. If you remember the first week of classes, we're already seeing task number 4. But now we're taking a look to question number 2 or task number 2. All right, so let's go back. And basically here, as with all of the task in the speaking section, we have this template, right, or this speech that basically help us how to respond, right? So we have 60 seconds to respond, and we're going to start with the university, and then we're going to briefly introduce the change, and then we're going to have a couple of connectors which are going to help us to add information, all right, related to the change. However, these three first ideas are going to come from the passage, all right? The first ideas are going to come from that. And then we jump to a transition phrase, which is the student does not advocate or advocates with that idea. And then we are going to talk about the conversation, right? If you remember, I just mentioned in the conversation, we get these two reasons why the student advocates or don't advocate, or agrees or disagrees with this change, right? So we have to mention both of them in the second part, all right? So we basically mention it. No, the first reason very briefly, and then we use this connector due to the fact that, which is basically no debido a, and then we add a piece of information or a detail related to the first reason. And then in the second one, we're going to add, or we're going to use another connector, which is in addition to basically add another piece of information. We're going to briefly mention the second reason that the student is mentioning. And then we're going to go for. This comma space for means because. However, it's a little bit more formal. It's not very common. This connector is not very common. However, it's going to give you good points for this reason. And then we're going to add another detail related to the second reason. All right, is everyone understanding this part? Please, if anyone is a little bit lost, let me know. Okay, guys. Okay, so don't worry, we're going to practice either way. And I need you guys to open the template that I've sent several times before. And you have to go to task number 2. Please open that document. Sorry, on your computer. I'm briefly going to show it to you. Is this one? So you have all the templates here. So this is task number 1. And if you go a little bit lower, now this is task number 2. And this is the one that I need you guys to work on. Please open this and leave this document open so you can see it. All right. So now we're going to go to Kahoot. No, sorry, Magush. I'm mixing this up. Okay, sorry. All right, so we're going to practice speaking. I'm going to check speaking. All right, let me show you. Okay, so I'm aware that we already practiced this with at least 2 or 3 students. So please, let's be a little bit patient, because obviously if some of you have already practiced with this question, we're not going to work on it again, right? So let's just check and make sure that you guys haven't seen this one yet. So please, maybe Cecilia, Karen, or Shirley, please let me know if we already practiced this topic with you. This one is about bus service discontinued. You remember if you have practiced this one?
No, I don't see it.
All right, you haven't practiced, Karen. All right, Shirley, what about you? Do you remember practicing this one?
No, we don't.
All right, great. Okay, Cecilia, what about you?
Yes, I practiced this question.
Right. Okay, don't worry. We're going to go to the next one. If we have time, we're going to practice this one at the end, because usually those are not the easiest one. However, it's fine. Let's go to the next one. Okay. So you guys, always the instruction is the same. No, I don't think we have practiced this one. When you offer opportunities to study in Rome, I don't think we practiced this one with anyone. All right. So guys, the instruction is always going to be the same. Let's see. I don't know. Raul, could you please read this instruction for everyone?
Okay.
Thank you.
You will now read a short passage and then listen to a conversation on the same topic. You will then be asked a question about them. After you hear the question, you will have 30 seconds to prepare your response and 60 seconds to speak.
Right. Thank you very much. So basically what I just explained, right? So now we're going to start with the passage. So this question is especially a little bit, well, it's not easy, no, but it's a little bit more challenging. So let me, oh, sorry guys, give me 1 second, please. I'm gonna try to make it as big as I can so you can see everything. I don't think don't think that will be possible. All right, it's fine. Okay, so now we get the passage, right? So you're always going to get a short introduction, right, of whatever you're going to be reading about. No, in this case, the university has announced a scholarship opportunity on its website. You will have 45 seconds to read the announcement. Begin reading now. All right. So the instruction is always going to mention very briefly, this change. All right. So now let's do this, guys. Let's practice reading, because it's not as easy. We're going to have a little bit more time to understand. All right. And after you're done, we're going to check if we could find the change. All right, so I'm going to mute my microphone and I'm going to give you around a minute to read it. Please, guys, start. And you remember, you have to try to find the change, and please write down a couple of details related to the change. All right, do not write too much, but write what it's need, no more than that. All right, I'm going to mute my microphone. Good luck. All right, guys. What do you say? Have you found the change? Okay, can anyone tell me maybe what is the change in this passage? Topic: New scholarship offers opportunity to study in Rome.
maybe that they need to submit an essay of specific aspects of Italy, but they going to study in Rome.
All right. So what is the change? What would you say it's a change?
The change is that students need to do an essay of Italy, but partially they are going to study in Rome.
All right. So that the last part, yes, that's the change. Now they are offering this this scholarship to study in Rome. However, this needs some requirements, right? Can anyone tell me if you have found some details related to this change, some things that the students must done in order to be able to participate of this scholarship? Whether you say Cecilia or maybe Shirley or Raul, any details? Remember this part? Yes.
Yes, they need to write a essay
All right. Why? What for?
about the Italian culture and why uh, need to be accepted this scholarship.
All right. Very good. Any other detail that you have found, Shirley? Thank you, Karen.
To be eligible for the scholarship, students must be from the Romance Languages Department only.
Right. So that's very important because it's not a scholarship for everyone, right? They're putting some, they're limiting students, right? So just certain students can apply to this, which it's going to lead us to the conversation. All right. So always, guys, in this part, remember, find the change and then try to find a couple of details related to the change that you consider are important. All right, so after reading this, obviously we'll read it in a little bit more time than 45 seconds because I already know that this one is especially a little bit more challenging. However, you're always going to get no more than 45 seconds to read it. All right, but obviously it's not that long, right? It's around 100 words, so we shouldn't have too much trouble in this part. Now let's jump right next to the conversation. In this part, you are going to get, and please allow me to show you this. I'm starting to notice that my computer is making a noise. All right, so in this part, guys, we're going to listen to this conversation, okay? So take a look, listen carefully, and then try to write down these changes or these reasons, why these students agrees or disagrees with the change. All right, let's start.
Now listen to two students discussing the announcement.
I think it's totally unfair that the Buonacore Scholarship is only being offered to students in the Romance Languages Department. Like, it's an amazing opportunity, and it's so sad to see it monopolized in this way.
Is it really such a bad thing to limit the scholarship to one department, though? I mean, the fewer students compete for the prize, the easier it'll be for students like us to win it. After all, there are only 7 other students in the whole Romance Languages Department besides us.
Well, that doesn't change the fact that it's wrong for the scholarship to be limited to our single department. It's a matter of principle. First of all, there are students in other departments, like history and classics and Renaissance studies, all of whom would definitely benefit from a year in Italy. Why shouldn't they get a chance to submit their work to the committee?
But if they also submitted their essays, it would be harder for us to get the prize.
Look, just because something benefits me personally doesn't make me think that it's right. I mean, I have a lot of friends in history and classics and Renaissance studies, and I totally agree with them that it's wrong for them to be ineligible to compete for the scholarship. After all, Romance Languages is a very small department, and it seems abusive for us to keep this resource all to ourselves.
I guess I see where you're coming from.
Also, I think that it takes something away from the honor of winning the scholarship if the competition isn't very strong. I'd rather know that I earned the opportunity to study in Rome by competing against the very best students, instead of thinking that I was only honored because other talented people were unnecessarily excluded from the process.
All right. So, will you find why the student is, in this case, disagreeing with the change? Can anyone please tell me one of the reasons why the female student is not agreeing with the change?
Should be a part of this choice, no? And because it will be, but the other guy says that it's harder to get the prize if the other departments form part of this scholarship.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. All right. So it's not that hard to understand, no, why they are not agreeing or disagreeing in this case. However, obviously, because we had a lot of time to read the first part, it was a little bit easier to understand, right? But remember, it's very fast, right? You get one and then you get the other one right after. You don't get as many time as we are doing right now because obviously it's the first time. Right after you get or you listen to the conversation, you're going to get the instruction, which is going to be this one. Karen, could you please help me reading it, please? Right there.
The female student expressed her opinion about why she disagrees with the university new polite, state her opinion and explain the reason she gives for holding that opinion.
Great, thank you very much. So after that, now we will get 30 seconds to get ready. In these 30 seconds, guys, we have to, give me 1 second, please, I'm going to share the template, right? Remember, you already have the template. So you get, sorry, here you will get, the template, and basically in the first three ideas are gonna come from the passage, right? So here we introduce the change, not the university, we mention very briefly the change. Then we go on top of that, we're going to add a piece of information. Accordingly, we add another piece of information. All right, these three first ideas are gonna come from the passage, and then we jump to the transition. Now the student, in this case, does not advocate with that idea, and then we jump trying to explain these two reasons why they're not agreeing. Okay, so we go firstly, we mention very briefly the change, we add a detail right after, no, we go due to the fact that, no, and then we add a detail, and then we go in addition, same thing, we mention the second reason why they're not agreeing, and then we go for, and then we add a little piece of information. All right, so let's have our 30 seconds to get ready, and then we will try to share our responses, and then let's see how you do. All right, guys, so 30 seconds to get ready, starting now. All right, time's up. So now we should answer. Okay, guys, so we're going to start with the students that have not practiced yet, so we're going to see how you do it. So we're going to start with Araceli. I'm going to share the timer. Now you will have a minute to respond, or 60 seconds. So Araceli, right now you will have to take a look to the template, no, and with your notes, you will have to respond. All right, I'm not going to show these because I need you to take a look to the timer and see how you do. All right, but I need you to open the document so you have this template open so it can help you. All right, so please, whenever you're ready, you can start responding to the question. All right, ready?
Miss, I don't have. Aún no lo tengo hecho.
It's fine. Don't worry. We're practicing, so I need you to practice. Try to do it. It's fine. Try to find 3 ideas that are, well, that you took notes from the first part. Now we start with a change, and then we add a detail here and another detail here, and then we jump to the conversation. All right, but we start, the first 3 ideas come from the passage, and down here we explain the conversation. What do you say?
¿Podría hacerlo alguien más antes de, para que tenga un poco más de tiempo para hacerlo de idea?
A ver, vamos a ir con otra persona entonces y luego soltamos contigo, ¿ok? Vas a ver cómo lo hace alguien más. A ver, Raúl. Por favor, Raúl, habilitamos micrófono. Y cámara. Para responder, por favor. Bueno. Tienen que estar atentos, por favor. Recuerden que si no habilitan su cámara, igual tengo que sacarlos de la llamada temporalmente. Ok. Entonces vamos a pasar con Annie, por favor. If you could share your response.
Okay.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay, the university gave an opportunity to the Romance language department to go to a scholarship to Rome. On top of that, students need to do an essay about a culture on Italy, and also they need to mention what they did expect of living in there. Accordingly to the listener, the girl said that she doesn't I don't know this word, I'm sorry. She says that it's unfair that only Romance language have this opportunity.
It's fine, you can continue answering, don't worry.
Okay, so she says that it's unfair that only Romance language department have the opportunity to go to Rome. She mentioned that history and culture might need this opportunity too. So that's it.
All right. So I think you were doing great. However, I think you were speaking too slow. That's why you didn't have too much time for the second part. Remember, guys, obviously in this opportunity, we had a lot of time to write, to read, not the first part, the passage. However, we shouldn't give too much information here, right? Because basically here is this first part is basically just introducing the change. So we should try to do it fast and try to summarize the information. All right. So do not try to say too much in this part. It's very common that the students, because they have the information there, they basically know they copy the whole sentence and they want to replicate that, right? However, that's not the point here. Here we should try to mention the change very briefly and then try to add a couple of details. That's all. But try to summarize the information. In the second part, yes, I think here we could try to give a little bit more information. However, not too much. But I think that was the main mistake in your response. However, I think you did very good. But the time was not on your side. All right. Thank you very much, Annie. Let's continue. Let's go with Shirley, maybe.
Okay.
All right.
The university decided to add a new scholarship into the Roman language department. Accordingly, it is only allowed for students that are part of the department. However, some students, especially the girl in the audio, does not advocate with that idea for two reasons. First, there are other departments that will find useful this scholarship, especially history and classics departments. And she thinks that it's not fair that those students are not able to apply for that scholarship. And second, it makes the competition for the scholarship less strong because only the Roman language department students are allowed to participate.
Great. Thank you very much, Shirley. I think you did a very good job. If you take attention to it, it's fine if sometimes we use other connectors. The thing here is that we should try to use them, no? Because that is implying that you're adding information, no? So you're starting with the change and then you're adding another information in another. However, I think you just add one detail here. Obviously, if we're running out of time, we're going to do what we have to do. But however, here we should try to add at least two pieces of information to clarify or present in a better way the change, right? So we introduce the change and then a couple of details. And then, no, it's not necessarily to say or to mention the student or something. We already have that here, right? The student does not, okay, that's the introduction. So if whatever we say, besides that, it's basically repeating the same thing, no? But I think you did a very good job. Obviously, Shirley has been practicing, so she already knows how to answer. So thank you very much, Shirley. Great job. Let's go with Cecilia. What do you say? Let's practice. Let me show you the template.
The university regulates a bonus core scholarship for all the students who wanted to go study in Rome. On the fact that exist many requirements that all the students have to complete, which write to essay about explain many details about the cultures and how they start win this scholarship, but given preference to language A's. the student is very interesting, but very exciting, but does not advocate this idea. Firstly, because she thinks that this scholarship have limit for all students due to the fact that students have more opportunities to others because exist many departments about history or language.
It's fine. You can finish your response if you want.
Yeah, that's it.
All right. Okay. Don't worry. So basically, she mostly followed the whole template, which is highly advised, you guys. However, again, it's the most common mistake that we usually do. No es fácil. Generalmente la mayoría tenemos el fuerte, la lectura, ¿no? Generalmente se entiende más. Y nos queremos explayar, entre comillas, ¿no? En esta parte, porque obviamente se ha entendido bien. Sin embargo, tenemos que tratar de limitar un poco eso, porque es fácil que digamos mucho en esta parte y luego nos quedemos sin tiempo para la segunda parte, la cual es igual de importante. Por lo tanto, les recomendaría que traten de limitar la primera parte y resumirlo un poco. De esa manera, no tenemos el tiempo suficiente para poder completar toda la respuesta. Okay? So, I think you did a very good job, Cecilia. I think you're improving. Definitely, you're doing better. All right, thank you very much. Great job. Now let's go with Walter. Please, will you share your response?
Okay.
All right. Whenever you're ready.
Okay.
Around
The university is offering a scholarship in Rome. On top of that, the student will have to do an essay about Italian culture. Accordingly, it only can apply for this scholarship a few students. The student does not advocate that idea. Firstly, because only students of Romance department can apply, to the fact that it will be harder to give the prize if other departments participate. In addition of that, other departments like history will not participate, despite that Italian culture is a topic of that department. I don't know what.
No, I think you did excellent. You summarized information greatly. But obviously we had a lot of time to prepare, right? Obviously that implies that we might feel more secure and we speak faster. No, but usually that doesn't necessarily happen while we're responding, no, in a real situation. But I think you did very good. You did excellent. In this case, obviously you speak fast. No? I would recommend you maybe try to speak a little bit lower. No, but I think you respond very, very good. All right, so that's a great example, guys, of how we should try to respond. He followed everything, not in the whole template, and it was very clear that he understood the whole thing, no, the passage and the conversation. All right, thank you very much, Walter. Great job. Okay, so let's jump to, let's go with Karen. I'm not sure if you already respond. Have you?
Yes.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so let's go with where is she? Araceli. What is Araceli? Okay, Araceli, could you please share your response with us?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So whenever you start talking, I'll run the timer. You have 1 minute to respond.
Okay. The university gives an opportunity to the Department of Romance Language. On top of that,
on top of that to make them go to Rome. According to that, they will have to write an essay from Italy. The student does not agree, since other departments should give the same opportunity to other people.
You can continue. It's fine. We're practicing, don't worry.
That's all.
All right. Okay. So for your first time, I think you did good. But we might need to practice a little bit more, right? And one thing that I will advise you is to try to mention complete ideas, no, so we can understand, or well, the evaluator can understand better your response, no. The university, the university, it's launching a new scholarship for students, no, for what? To go to Rome, no. We have to be a little bit more specific. And well, obviously you did good in the first part because you were mentioning facts from the passage, right? In the second part, we have to same thing, no, try to mention the changes and details, no, that we heard in the conversation. I don't know if you have any questions, Araceli. All right. So guys, as you know, we have these personal calls weekly, and in these calls that are usually on Wednesday, we practice these exercises. So if you want to take some advance, you can schedule your calls. And today, well, this week is actually the last week of this course, so you might want to practice a bit more, right? Okay, guys. If I'm not wrong, everyone has practiced. And now we're going to do it one more time very quickly. And we might not have time to share our responses. However, we're going to practice one more time. So this is the second one. And let's see. All right. Okay, so we're going to practice one more time. However, okay. Have anyone practiced this one? It's cafeteria menu, expanded cafeteria menu. Can you guys let me know, please? If you recognize it and we already practiced? No? All right, great. So let's practice with this one, guys. So basically here, now you get the passage, and let's start reading, all right? You will have 45 seconds. Try to find the change and a couple of details and write it down, all right? Let's start. All right, guys. So, hope you found the change. Now, always remember, find the change and then details, a couple of details. All right, now let's go to the conversation. we're going to listen. This topic is a little bit easier, so now let's listen to the conversation. All right, try to find the position of the student and why they agree or disagree with the change.
Now listen to two students discussing the announcement.
Can you believe this ridiculous new policy about vegetarian meals every Friday?
What's wrong with it? I mean, I thought you were a vegetarian. Isn't this exactly what you would want?
Yeah, I'm vegetarian, but we told the head of the dining hall that it was unfair that every day of the week the hot meal seemed to include meat, and students like me were basically forced to have cold dinner all the time.
What's the problem then?
We pay a full meal plan like everybody else does, but we don't get hot food like everybody else does. We wanted a vegetarian option to be included every day of the week on the menu as an alternative for vegetarians, so we can have a proper meal for dinner.
But one meal a week is better than nothing, you know?
Not really. The university thinks that this will appease us, but I still have to eat salad 4 days a week. It's really repetitive.
Yeah, I could see that getting old.
Tell me about it. And have you actually used the salad bar? Half of it is totally inedible. The lettuce is all wilted. The tomatoes are tasteless. It's not exactly fine dining.
The female student expresses her opinion about why she disagrees with the university's new policy. State her opinion and explain the reasons she gives for holding that opinion.
All right. So since we have around 5-7 minutes left, who would like to share the response? To practice, obviously.
I could do it.
All right, thank you very much. Are you ready? We'll run.
The university is going to add a new vegetarian hot meal every Friday. The reasons are because they want to end with the limited options for many vegetarian students, and also because they want to introduce a better healthy dietary habits into the community as well. The students does not advocate with that idea, firstly because she says that she pays a price for a hot meal every day, so it's not fair that only one day she will have a hot meal. And the second reason is because the salad bar is not very good as well. She says that many of the food are not edible and it's very similar every day.
Nice, very good, Shirley. Thank you, great job. So guys, that's how it should be done. So well, in this case, we got our easier question. It was a little bit easier to understand. The topic was also very easy to understand, and the reasons too. No, but obviously we have to pay attention to what we're reading or what we're listening, and obviously try to take notes, right? And she did great. She did very good. Thank you very much, Shirley. Great job. All right. Anyone else that would like to share the response? Remember, you have 1 minute to respond. Try to do it, guys. Who would like to practice? We will practice task number 3 on Thursday. So today will be the last day that we will practice this task. Does anyone would like to share the response? One more person, maybe. I don't know, Walter, Karen, Ceci, Nora, Annie. All right. So does anyone have any questions, maybe? Cecilia would like to respond?
Yes, I can try.
Yes, thank you. Good. All right.
The university agrees a new change in the menu of the university. On the top of fact, regrets that all Friday include a meal for vegetarian person, and regrets that all weekend have a salad bar. The student is not advocate this idea because she thinks that every day have the menu includes have a meal for vegetarian and vegan person. And second, she thinks that the salad bar is not complete for the vegan person. Yes, that's it.
All right, great. I think you did very good. It was great. Thank you very much, Cecilia. But remember that in the second part, we should try to add a detail, right? So in the first one, yes, you mention, and then you add a detail. But in the second one, no, you just mention it, right? You mentioned that eating vegan food or something like that. But then we should try to add a detail related to that so it can sound more understanding. All right. So obviously, if you didn't get it, it was maybe because you couldn't write some notes, right? But guys, it's very important because we need that. We need these two pieces of information per change or per the reasons that they are not agreeing, right? So, but besides that, I think you did a very good job, Cecilia. Thank you very much. You definitely have improved a lot. So, guys, I think that will be for today. I don't know if you have any questions related to task number 2. All right. So tomorrow we will have the personal calls from 2:30 until 4:30. If you can make it, please write your name down in the doc that I've shared in the WhatsApp group. And now I will launch. Oops, my bad. I will launch today's polls. And please remember. Por favor, lean con cuidado las 3 preguntas, por favor. Háganme saber si les llega. Somos 6 estudiantes, por favor. Lleva una persona, 2, 3, 5, 6, 2, 4, 6. Perfecto. Muchísimas gracias. Denme un segundo, por favor, para que le saque screenshot al resultado y de la misma manera a la lista. Por un momento, por favor, todavía no se salgan. Ok, that will be it for today, guys. Muchísimas gracias. Los veo el día jueves para practicar task number 3. Que tengan una buena noche. Muchas gracias.
Bye.
Bye, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.